Dana White also announced the lineup for UFC 292, not the full lineup, but a couple key fights here. The main and co-main event, we get Aljamain Sterling defending his bantamweight title against Sean O'Malley, and you got Zhang Weili defending her title against Amanda Lemos August 19th in Boston. Dana loves Boston. He's from the area. He's obviously going to make this card pretty stacked. We sort of knew this was going to happen. After Sterling beat Henry Cejudo, they came in the cage. They did the face-off, which, by the way, UFC needs to do that more often. I think you already got the promo right there for the countdown show with the two going at it in the cage. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, so this is what we get. I don't think there's any surprise here. We heard rumblings of this fight being made. The Weili Zhang Amanda Lemos fight, I'm guessing they're not going to China this year. Otherwise, to me, this is kind of a risky thing to do here because the big fight that the UFC needs to make is Zhang Weili and Yan Xiaonan. That's the biggest fight you can make right now for the Asian MMA audience. It's huge. So they better hope that Zhang Weili wins this fight, because if you miss out on that fight, that's a huge miss from the UFC internationally. Just talking to people, just all over, that is such a massive fight for the Chinese audience that if this doesn't go according to plan, now I guess they could still fight even if Zhang loses, maybe down the line they fight. But to me, you should have just done it next. Nothing against Amanda Lemos, but I mean, this is, to me, Yan Xiaonan, her knocking out Jessica Andrade, I don't mind her leapfrogging Amanda Lemos in that situation, because how many girls are finishing Jessica Andrade like that in the first round? It's very impressive. So I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity. But let's go back to Sterling and O'Malley here for a second, because a lot of people accuse me of playing favorites when it comes to certain fighters getting opportunities. I want to state in this video, I didn't think Sean O'Malley deserved to fight Petr Yan in his last fight, and I thought that that fight against Pedro Munoz was actually kind of even before the no contest happened. Now, I know the O'Malley haters are going to come after me, but that's just what I feel. I'm more of a merit guy in a lot of situations. But you have to remember too, Sean O'Malley's a huge chip for the UFC. He's one of the best businessmen in the UFC as far as his brand. He connects to a younger audience. O'Malley is a star in the UFC. There's very few stars in the UFC. Sean O'Malley is one of them. So I understand him getting the Yan fight. And then the Yan fight itself, I mean, not a great decision. Let's just go look at the scorecards here. This is MMADecisions.com. Sean O'Malley defeating Petr Yan. That was back in October, by the way. So O'Malley hasn't fought in a while. All the people accusing other fighters of sitting and not taking other fights. Look at this here. One media member scored the fight for O'Malley. Everyone else scored it for Yan. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'll do a video on title shots that maybe aren't deserved here, but a lot of people felt like Yan was robbed in that fight. So, I remember watching it, think Yan won. It was close, but I think you should have given it to Yan here. But anyways, that's aside the point. O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling are going to fight. I know everyone wanted Henry Cejudo, but Cejudo ended up losing that fight to Sterling. Sterling fight with Cejudo was close as well. I know some people thought it was a robbery. It wasn't. It was a close fight, kind of like that O'Malley and Yan fight as well. So yeah, we're getting Sterling and O'Malley. Personally, I think Sterling wins that fight, no problem. Again, I will do an early look on this. O'Malley's got some power. Sterling has been knocked out before against Marlon Moraes, but it's not really typical of his fights, and he even took some good shots from Henry Cejudo. So I think Sterling probably takes this one. Now, as far as Weili Zhang and Amanda Lemos, I think Zhang wins this. I do. I think she's more well-rounded. If you remember, Lemos not that long ago lost to Jessica Andrade, which is kind of a similar opponent here to Weili Zhang in a way. So I think Zhang will win, but again, the UFC's taking a bit of a risk here, not giving Yan Xiaonan. Maybe Yan Xiaonan need more time off. I don't know. But that's a fight you got to do in China. So that's kind of the only thing I'll say here. I mean, if you want to go off merit, O'Malley doesn't deserve this. In fact, what they should have done if we're going off merit here is Corey Sandhagen and Aljamain Sterling, the rematch. And I don't want to hear about Corey Sandhagen lost a couple years ago. He's a much different fighter than when he fought Sterling the first time. And he's coming off two big wins, Song Yadong and Chito Vera. That is more than enough to earn a title shot here. So they could have done that. And yeah, so, but again, the UFC, they're in the business of, putting on big fights, notable fights that people want. That's why O'Malley's getting the shot, the same way Umar's getting a shot against Corey Sandhagen as well. But we don't need to go there. We've already discussed this enough in the comments. But yeah, Sterling O'Malley, good fight, and Weili Zhang and Amanda Lemos, good fight as well. They're going to add some more to this card, obviously, I would imagine. Calvin Kattar, I would imagine, has got to be on this card. We haven't heard much from him. I don't know what the status is of his injury or anything. Rob Font probably too. So yeah, so far so good for UFC 292, and Dana White dropping some huge bombs here. Again, I'm going to go Sterling, and I'm going to go Weili Zhang as far as my early picks on this, but I will do an early look preview of those two fights as well, so you guys can get my thoughts on that. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think of these matchups? Does it make sense? I think we kind of knew this was going to happen. I think the only surprise, like I said, with Yan Xiaonan winning a few weeks ago, I thought they were going to do that fight next, but hey, what are you going to do? Like I said, I think Zhang probably wins that fight, but we'll see what happens. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, at Lynch on Sports. I'm posting content on here every single day, so make sure you follow me on all those platforms and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon.